Welcome back, everybody. It is another episode for your ears, for your ear holes. We're looking at Tuesday, the 21st of March, 2023. These are just creeping ever so close, so much closer to midnight. And so I need to actually pull my head in and actually start to do these a lot sooner in the day. And the worst part is I don't even have an excuse really, other than just the fact that I don't have anything to talk about, which is consistent with all of these. But oh my God, I'm so sorry. I couldn't even make it a minute. Anyway, I don't really have a lot to talk about in the mornings, is what I mean. I don't have a lot to talk about in general, but in the mornings I don't have a lot to talk about. Anyway, today I do have a bit to talk about. I went for another interview today, and I am pretty excited about how that went. I feel good about it. I feel like it went well, and that I answered questions. I don't know. I feel like I answered questions well, but maybe they cut it short. I don't think it was cut very short, actually. I think they said they allocated about 45 minutes, and then they gave me 45 minutes, which was nice. So, but I had an interview. It was 2 people. It's for a bit more of a corporate role. Still in management, still in leadership, still in people, and still in customer service too. I feel like I need a job that's, customer service adjacent, and yeah, I don't know. It was nice. It was validating. To get dressed up, I had to wear a suit too. Not the full thing. I didn't put the tie or anything on, just the jacket and the pants and whatever. And I just went and I had a chat, and it was good. I didn't know what to expect, but I felt like I was able to answer the questions. Pretty well. I think back on it now and I think, man, I should have said this and I should have said that. But considering it was like one of the first human interactions I've had in the last couple of weeks since not having employment, it do be interesting. But we're looking, I think, 2 full weeks now that I've been unemployed. Well, sort of. I've gone for this trial shift that turned into a first shift. I didn't get paid for that. So I technically am still unemployed, but I think tomorrow they're looking at putting the contracts and everything through for me to actually start working. And obviously I'm going to take that and continue and follow through with that, because I don't know if this other job is going to actually come through. There's a second round of interviews and everything, so I need to organize myself around that. But yeah, I don't know. I guess we find out tomorrow what the outcome is and what the pay rate and everything is, and I can come back and I can tell this podcast. But from the day before, where I was feeling kind of down and out, feeling kind of sad, more than anything frustrated. I think the most damaging thing that came from being fired from my job was the fact that I wasn't told why. That's the part that's weighing on my mind. And I don't want to harass them, and I don't want to push for an explanation. You know what I mean? I don't really care that much. I don't care enough to make them feel uncomfortable about it, but it's all assumption. I'm just assuming what's happened and how it's all led to what it's led to. I can only imagine the sort of stories they're willing to weave, the personality they're willing to create for me. And I guess that is what's bumming me out the most, is that conversations are being had that I'm not involved in about my character that are not true. And so, I mean, there's 2 parts to that, right? Where it's like, well, half of me is like, who gives a fuck what other people think of me? And then the other half of me is like, well, I do care a little bit about what people think about me, because if especially if it is a little bit true. Like, what if the things that they're saying about me are accurate, and who I am is needs adjustment. But I can't imagine that's true. I got so many people that like me. What I need to do is learn to keep my mouth shut. I need to say less. Less is more. I need to keep my cards close to my chest, keep things smooth, keep things running smoothly, keep my focus on the future, keep my mental in the present, and keep my focus on the future, and we move on. And I think that's what I'm doing. And I think this job, if I'm successful and if they offer it to me, I'm absolutely taking it. I think that it would be really good for me. The next step in my career, it's like I said, it's retail adjacent. It's still customer service based, but it's more of a corporate role. And so I'd be putting a significant amount of my energy into, I don't know, it'd still be leadership, but I'm not like selling products or stuff like that. And I'd be moving into a position where I'm exposed to like a corporate level of leadership, a level of leadership that's a little bit more, I guess, trusting, and a little bit more like allowing people to do their thing and not putting so much pressure on like micromanagement, Well, I think that's the case. And I wanted to break the rules today. I wanted to break the rules and finish this podcast early. I believe it's day 80. And so I wanted to put myself in a position where I could just make these rules and make these things up as I go. But I think continuing with the daily uploads for 100 days, I don't know if I'll continue past 100. I don't know. I mean, I maybe I will. Maybe we'll just do 100 days. That's more than I've ever done before. But then there's also that side of it where it's like, well, maybe if I just do the full 365, I can at least then say that I did that. For 1 year of my life, I did that. Maybe the longer I talk to this microphone, the more answers I can provide myself. Or at the very least, the more questions I can ask. Because sometimes you don't know if you're asking the right question. You know what I mean? Sometimes you'll ask questions and there is no answer. But sometimes you'll ask questions and the answer to that question is, although it's right, it's not the answer that you need right now because it's not the question that you should have asked. And I think that the universe is not conspiring against me. And for a little while there, I believed that the universe was conspiring against me, that it wanted to see me fail. But, you have to go through hard times to make the good times feel better. You know what I mean? You have to focus on the light at the end of the tunnel. The shiny shit that's going to come out of that. Like you will come out the other side of that, and they'll be positive. And if your circumstances don't change, then maybe your perspective will, right? And so maybe the light at the end of the tunnel doesn't have to be an external change. Maybe it could be an internal change. Maybe sometimes the storms you've got to weather are internal presenting as external, right? I think what I'm trying to say is that by being put in a position where I don't have an option, where I don't have a choice, and I'm being told that I'm not welcome back at this job, is an external issue, right? But the answer isn't an external answer. I can't just go and ask someone why this happened. I need to look internally at what happened and why it happened. And as soon as I stop, not necessarily blaming, but like, thinking about what happened and how other people perceive me, maybe the issue is that that perception's coming across in a certain way because I'm presenting in a certain way. Maybe I'm presenting in a certain way because I'm thinking in a certain way. So maybe the perspective is that I need to shift my internal perspective and not my external. But that's all you get from me today.